The council chamber went completely silent when Captain Hyunwoo's voice filled the room. His words were calm and polite, but there was something in his tone that made everyone feel cold inside. Council Chair. Vor Mason was the first to respond. He stood up from his chair and activated the communication system. His voice was deep and angry when he spoke. "Human ship, you have invaded our most protected system. This is an act of war. Explain yourself immediately or face the consequences." Captain Hyunwoo's reply came quickly. He didn't sound worried or afraid. "Honorable council members, I am Captain Hyunwoo of the Human Defense Force. We come not as invaders but as equals demanding recognition. For 70 years you have treated humanity as children who need to be watched and controlled. That ends today." Ambassador Kael'thon felt his hands shake as he listened. "This is impossible. Humans don't have the technology to build ships like this. How did you get past our defenses?" "The same way you would get past a fence built by children," Hyunwoo answered. "We walked around it." The insult hit the council like a physical blow. These aliens had ruled the galaxy for almost 1,000 years. Their technology was the best in known space. Their defenses had never been broken. Now a human was calling their greatest achievements childish. Thex Quinn, the military advisor, was studying his screens with growing worry. The numbers made no sense. "Council Chair, I'm reading impossible energy levels from that ship. Their hull appears to be made from materials we don't recognize. And their power source?" He paused, checking his readings again. "Their power source appears to be a controlled black hole." "That's not possible," said Ambassador Yeltaran. "Nobody can control a black hole. The technology doesn't exist." "Tell that to the humans," Thex Quinn replied. On the Defiant Dawn, engineer Jin-A was monitoring the alien communications. Her equipment could listen to every conversation happening on the alien ships and space stations. What she heard made her laugh. "Captain, they're trying to figure out how our technology works," she reported. "Their scientists are going crazy. They can't understand our power systems or our hull materials." "Of course they can't," Hyunwoo said. "They've been using the same basic technology for 500 years. They stopped trying to innovate because they thought they were already perfect." Wu Jin, the intelligence officer, was tracking the alien fleet movements. "Captain, their ships are taking defensive positions. They're scared to get too close to us." "Smart of them," Hyunwoo said. "So men, what's our weapon status?" So Min checked her screens. "All weapons are ready, Captain. Gravity cannons are charged. Reality warpers are standing by. Quantum torpedoes are loaded." The names of the human weapons would have terrified the council if they could hear them. Gravity cannons that could crush ships like tin cans. Reality warpers that could make objects simply stop existing. Quantum torpedoes that could punch holes through space itself. But the humans kept their weapon names secret. They wanted the aliens to guess and worry. In the council chamber, General Zexkorth's voice came through the communication system. He was the commander of all the alien fleets now surrounding the human ship. "Council members, my ships are in position. 2,000 vessels are ready to attack on your command. Should I destroy this threat?" Vor Mason looked at the screen showing the human ship. It looked so small compared to their massive fleet, but something told him that size didn't matter here. "Stand by, General," he said. Then he spoke to Captain Hyunwoo again. "Human, you are outnumbered 2,000 to 1. Surrender now and we might show mercy." Captain Hyunwoo's laugh came through the speakers. It wasn't a mean laugh or a crazy laugh. It was the laugh of someone who knew a secret that others didn't. "Council Chair Vor Mason, do you know what we call your fleets?" Hyunwoo asked. "What?" Vor Mason replied, confused. "Target practice." The words sent a chill through every council member. This human wasn't just confident. He was completely unafraid of their largest military force ever assembled. Ambassador Kael'thon stood up quickly. "You're bluffing. No single ship can fight our entire fleet." "You're right," Hyunwoo agreed. "A normal ship couldn't, but then again, we're not normal, are we? We're humans. We do impossible things every day." On the Defiant Dawn, Navigator Taeho was tracking something that the aliens couldn't see. Hidden in the darkness between stars, 17 more human ships waited silently. Their stealth technology made them invisible to alien sensors. "Captain, our backup is in position," Taeho reported quietly. "Good," Hyunwoo said. "But let's see if we can handle this ourselves first. Jin-A, show them what our ship can really do." Jin-A smiled and pressed several buttons on her control panel. The Defiant Dawn began to glow with soft blue light. Energy fields danced across its hull like liquid lightning. In the council chamber, alarms started ringing again. Thex Quinn stared at his readings in disbelief. Their energy output just increased by 3,000%. He shouted. How is that possible? They should have exploded. Maybe they want to explode, suggested Ambassador Kael'thon. Maybe this is a suicide attack. No, said Yeltarin, who had been studying human culture. Humans don't kill themselves unless they have no other choice. This Captain Hyunwoo sounds too calm for someone planning to die. She was right. Captain Hyunwoo had no intention of dying today. He had come here to deliver a message, and he wanted to make sure the council understood every word. Council members, he said, for 70 years, you have kept humanity trapped in our home system. You told the galaxy that we were too dangerous to be trusted with space travel, too violent, too unpredictable. You were afraid of what we might do if we were free to explore the stars. We were protecting the galaxy, Mason shouted. Humans start wars wherever they go. Do we? Hyunwoo asked. Or do we finish wars that others start? Think carefully before you answer, because your next words might determine whether your fleets go home safely tonight. The threat was clear, even though it was politely spoken. Captain Hyunwoo was giving the council a choice. They could continue this confrontation and risk their ships, or they could listen to what he had to say. Communications Officer Minho was monitoring alien military channels. Captain, their fleet commanders are asking for orders. Some want to attack immediately. Others are recommending caution. Fear and anger fighting each other, Hyunwoo observed. Let's tip the balance toward fear. Taeyun, show them our scans of their ships. Science Officer Taeyun activated the ship's external display screen. Suddenly, detailed technical drawings of alien warships appeared on every council screen. The drawings showed exact specifications, weapon placements, shield frequencies, and structural weak points. The council members gasped in shock. These were their most secret military designs. Information that should have been impossible for outsiders to obtain. How do you have this? Thex Quinn demanded. We've been watching you for a very long time, Hyunwoo replied. We know everything about your ships, your weapons, your tactics, and your weaknesses. Did you really think you could keep us locked in our system forever, without us learning about the people holding the key? Ambassador Kael'thon felt sick. You've been spying on us? We've been studying you, Hyunwoo corrected. Learning from you. Improving on your designs. While you've been comfortable with your old technology, we've been building something better. Impossible, Mason said. Our technology is the most advanced in the galaxy. Was, Hyunwoo said. Past tense. Your technology was the most advanced 70 years ago. Since then, you've made small improvements to the same basic systems. You've become lazy and overconfident. Jeannie spoke up from her station. Captain, their fleet is moving into attack formation. Should I prepare countermeasures? Not yet, Hyunwoo said. Let them get closer. I want them to see exactly what they're dealing with. In the council chamber, General Zexkorth was getting impatient. Council members, we should attack now while we have the advantage of numbers. Every moment we wait gives them more time to prepare. Prepare for what? Yeltarin asked. They're just one ship. One ship that got past our best defenses like they weren't even there. Thex Quinn reminded everyone. One ship with technology we don't understand. Mason made his decision. General Zexkorth, move your fleets into close attack range, but do not fire unless I give the order. Understood, Council Chair. Captain Hyunwoo watched as 2,000 alien warships moved closer to his position. Their weapons were charged and ready. Their crews were prepared for battle. They thought their numbers would save them. They were about to learn how wrong they were. The alien fleet formed a perfect sphere around the Defiant Dawn. 2,000 warships from 12 different species created a wall of weapons and armor that stretched in every direction. Their combined firepower could destroy planets and crack moons in half. General Zexkorth felt confident as he watched his fleet take position. He had fought in many battles during his long military career. He had never seen a single ship survive against odds like this. Human vessel, he broadcast on all frequencies. You are completely surrounded. Your ship is impressive, but you cannot fight us all. Surrender now and your crew will be treated fairly. Captain Hyunwoo's response was calm and polite. General, I appreciate your offer, but I'm afraid we must decline. You see, we didn't come here to surrender. We came here to make a point. What point? Zexkorth asked. That the galaxy has changed while you weren't paying attention. So Min looked up from her tactical station. Captain, all enemy ships are now in close range. Their weapons are charged and locked on us. Perfect, Hyunwoo said. Jinny, are you ready for the demonstration? Engineer Jin smiled as she placed her hands on the gravity drive controls. Ready, Captain. Which ships would you like me to choose? Pick 3 of their biggest warships. Make sure they're from different species. We want everyone to see this clearly. In the council chamber, the 12 leaders watched the scene on their main display screen. Their fleet looked magnificent surrounding the single human ship. Surely now the humans would realize how hopeless their situation was. They have no choice but to surrender. Ambassador Kaothon said confidently, "Not even humans are crazy enough to fight those odds." Thex Quinn wasn't so sure. Captain Hyunwoo doesn't sound like someone who plans to give up. And their energy readings are still climbing. Climbing to what? Vor Mason asked. I don't know, sir. Our instruments can't measure energy levels this high. On the Defiant Dawn, Captain Hyunwoo opened a communication channel to all alien ships and stations. When he spoke, his voice reached every ear in the fleet and every council member in their chamber. Honored members of the Galactic Council, and brave crew members of the assembled fleets, what you are about to witness is a demonstration. We could have chosen to destroy your entire fleet. We could have eliminated every ship surrounding us. Instead, we will show mercy and remove only 3 vessels. The word sent a chill through the alien fleet. Remove 3 vessels? What did that mean? General Zexkorth activated his communication system. Human Captain, you are in no position to make threats. Surrender immediately or face destruction. General, Hyunwoo replied, please observe. Jin-A activated the gravity drive, but not for movement. Instead, she focused its power on 3 specific targets. The Zentari Dreadnought Worldbreaker, the Valkyrie battleship Star's Edge, the Hegemony heavy cruiser Iron Fist. Around these 3 ships, space itself began to change. Commander Velkos was on the bridge of the Worldbreaker when the impossible happened. His sensors started showing readings that made no sense. The space around his ship was bending and twisting like liquid. What's happening? He shouted to his crew. Unknown, sir, his science officer replied. Something is affecting local gravity. The field is getting stronger. Through the windows of his bridge, Velkos could see the stars starting to stretch and bend. It looked like he was seeing the universe through curved glass. Captain Corthane of the Star's Edge was experiencing the same thing. Engineering report, he demanded. Sir, we're caught in some kind of gravitational field. Our engines can't break free. Fire all weapons at the human ship, Corthane ordered. But it was too late. The gravity field had grown too strong. The Star's Edge couldn't move its weapons to target anything. On the Iron Fist, Captain Rex Molan watched in horror as his instruments showed local space collapsing around his ship. This is impossible. Nobody can control gravity like this. In the council chamber, Thex Quinn stared at his screens in disbelief. The human ship is generating controlled gravitational fields. They're creating artificial black holes around our ships. Can our ships escape? Vor Mason asked. No, sir. The gravity is too strong. Nothing can break free once it's caught. The 3 alien warships tried desperately to escape. Their engines ran at maximum power. Their crews worked frantically to find a way out. But the laws of physics were against them. Space continued to bend and twist around the trapped vessels. The ships started to stretch and deform as the gravity field pulled them in different directions. Metal groaned and bent under impossible forces. Please, Commander Velkos broadcast on emergency frequencies. We surrender. Stop this. But Captain Hyunwoo's response was not what he expected. Commander, there is nothing to stop. You are not being attacked. You are being removed. What does that mean? Velkos shouted. He got his answer a moment later. The 3 ships didn't explode. They didn't burn. They didn't break apart. They simply stopped existing. One moment, 3 of the galaxy's most powerful warships were there. The next moment, they were gone. Not destroyed, not scattered into pieces. Just gone as if they had never been built. The space where they had been was completely empty. Not even atoms remained. The entire alien fleet went silent. 2,000 ships and millions of crew members stared at the empty space where their comrades had been. Nobody spoke. Nobody moved. They were too shocked to do anything but stare. In the council chamber, Ambassador Kaothon fell back into his chair. His face had turned completely white. They're gone, he whispered. 3 of our best ships. Just gone. Thex Quinn's hands shook as he tried to understand his readings. I'm not detecting any wreckage. No energy signatures. No debris field. It's like those ships never existed. How is this possible? Yeltarin asked. I don't know, Thex Quinn admitted. This technology is beyond anything we've ever seen. Captain Hyunwoo's voice filled the silence. When he spoke, every person in the fleet and every council member listened carefully. What you have just witnessed was a demonstration of human gravitational manipulation technology. We did not destroy those ships. We removed them from normal space-time. The crews are alive and unharmed, but they exist in a different dimension now. Communications Officer Minho added, This was not an attack. This was an example of human mercy. We could have done this to your entire fleet in the same amount of time. We chose 3 ships to make our point, not to start a war. The words hit the alien fleet like a bomb. Every ship captain realized they were completely helpless. If the humans could remove 3 ships so easily, they could remove all 2,000 just as fast. General Zexkorth tried to maintain control of the situation. All ships maintain position. Do not panic, but panic was already spreading through the fleet. Ship captains were calling for retreat. Crews were abandoning their battle stations. Nobody wanted to be the next vessel to disappear into nothing. Captain Hyunwoo, General Zexkorth said, his voice much less confident than before. What do you want? What we have always wanted, General. The right to exist as equals in this galaxy. The right to travel the stars without permission. The right to make our own choices about our future. And if we refuse? Zexkorth asked. Then you will learn that 3 ships was just our way of being polite, Hyunwoo replied. We have 17 more vessels like this one hidden in your system. Each one has the same capabilities as the Defiant Dawn. The lie was brilliant. There were indeed 17 more human ships hidden nearby, but Captain Hyunwoo didn't mention that they were transport vessels and supply ships. He let the aliens assume they were all warships with the same terrible power. In the council chamber, panic was taking hold. Formason tried to restore order, but even his deep voice couldn't calm the fear in the room. 17 ships like this one, he said slowly. They could eliminate our entire civilization. Not eliminate, said Yeltaran. Remove. They could make us all simply stop existing. Thex Quinn was studying his instruments again. I'm detecting 17 additional energy signatures in this system. They're using some kind of stealth technology, but our sensors can barely pick them up. The confirmation of the human fleet's presence broke what little courage remained in the council chamber. These humans hadn't come to negotiate. They had come to dictate terms. Captain Hyunwoo gave them time to think about what they had seen. He knew that fear was a powerful teacher, and he wanted this lesson to be remembered forever. Finally, he spoke again. Honorable council members, we will give you time to discuss what you have witnessed today. But understand this. The age of human containment is over. We will take our place in this galaxy, either with your cooperation or despite your opposition. The choice is yours. The alien fleet began to pull back from the Defiant Dawn. Ship by ship, they increased their distance from the human vessel. Nobody wanted to be close enough to be selected for the next demonstration. In the council chamber, 12 leaders from 12 different species faced the hardest decision in their civilization's history. They could try to fight beings who could rewrite the laws of physics, or they could accept that the galaxy had changed forever. The humans had made their point. Now it was time to see how the galaxy would respond. The council chamber had never been so quiet. 12 of the galaxy's most powerful leaders sat in stunned silence, staring at the empty space on their screens where 3 warships had been. The demonstration had shaken them to their core. Council Chair Vormason was the first to find his voice. We need to discuss this situation in private. Clear all communication channels. Sir, Thex Quinn interrupted. The human ship is sending another transmission. Put it through, Vormason said reluctantly. Captain Hyunwoo's voice filled the chamber once more. But this time his tone was different, less diplomatic, more direct. Council members, before you begin your discussions, there is something you need to understand. Something you have forgotten over the past 70 years. What are you talking about? Ambassador Kael'thon demanded. I'm talking about the truth, Hyunwoo replied. The truth about why you really quarantined humanity. The truth about what you were afraid we might become. On the Defiant Dawn, Science Officer Da-Yoon activated the ship's holographic projection system. Suddenly, the council chamber was filled with floating displays showing documents, communications records, and classified files. The council members gasped as they recognized their own secret communications from decades past. Messages they thought had been permanently erased. Plans they had made in the deepest secrecy. "How do you have these?" Mason asked, his voice barely a whisper. "We've been listening," Hyunwoo said simply. "For 70 years we've been watching and learning. Did you think we would just sit in our home system and accept your judgment forever?" Daeun began displaying the most damaging documents. Messages between council members discussing the human problem. Military reports about human potential. Scientific studies that showed what humans might be capable of if left unrestricted. Ambassador Yel Terran read one of the floating documents and felt sick. It was a message she had written herself 30 years ago. The human capacity for innovation continues to exceed our projections. If they develop unrestricted, they may surpass all council species within 50 years. "You remember that message?" Hyunwoo observed. "You were right, by the way. But it only took us 40 years, not 50. More documents appeared in the air. Reports from council scientists who had studied human development from a distance. Recommendations that humanity be kept isolated for the good of galactic stability. Plans to spread false information about human primitiveness. Thex Quinn found himself reading his own military assessments. Humans show remarkable adaptability under pressure. Their ability to innovate solutions to impossible problems makes them potentially dangerous to the established order. Potentially dangerous, Hyunwoo repeated. "Those were your exact words." "Not actually dangerous. Not proven to be a threat. Just potentially dangerous to your established order." The evidence continued to pile up. 70 years of lies, deception, and fear-based decision-making. The council had convinced the entire galaxy that humans were primitive and violent, while secretly terrifying themselves with reports of human potential. "The truth is," Captain Hyunwoo continued, "you quarantined humanity because you were afraid we might be better than you. Not more violent. Not more dangerous, better." Cultural analyst Haewon added her voice to the transmission. "We studied your records carefully. Every species that joined the council did so after proving they could follow established patterns. You wanted members who would fit into your existing systems. You didn't want innovators." "Innovation disrupts order," Mason said defensively. "Innovation creates progress," Hyunwoo countered. "But progress threatened your power structure. So you locked us away and told everyone we were too dangerous to trust." Ambassador Kael'thon stood up angrily. "We were protecting the galaxy. Humans start wars." "Do we?" Hyunwoo asked. "Let's examine that claim." Daeun projected new information into the chamber. Historical records of every major galactic conflict over the past 1,000 years. War after war started by council species. Conflicts over territory, resources, trade routes, and political differences. "In 1,000 years of galactic history," Haewon reported, "humans have started exactly 0 interstellar wars. We've been confined to our home system, so we couldn't start any even if we wanted to." "But look at your own planet," Kael'thon argued. "You fight constant wars among yourselves." "We used to," Hyunwoo agreed. 70 years ago, when you first quarantined us, humans were indeed fighting each other. But isolation gave us a common enemy to unite against. You." The words hit the council like a physical blow. Their own actions had united humanity against them. "The quarantine didn't contain our violence," Hyunwoo explained. "It focused it. Instead of fighting each other, we began working together to solve the problem of our imprisonment. Every human scientist, engineer, and military officer had the same goal: find a way past council restrictions. Wu Jin, the intelligence officer, provided more uncomfortable truths. We studied every council species during our isolation. We learned your languages, your cultures, your technologies, and most importantly, your weaknesses. While you were comfortable with your established order," Jin'e added, "we were desperately innovating. You had no pressure to improve, so you didn't. We had nothing but pressure. So we advanced faster than you thought possible." In the council chamber, Thex Quinn was reviewing the projected documents with growing alarm. "These reports show that our own scientists predicted this outcome. They warned that isolation might accelerate human development. The reports were ignored," Mason admitted quietly. "We thought our defenses were too strong to breach." "Your defenses were designed to stop ships using council technology," Captain Hyunwoo said. "Ships following council rules of physics. But we stopped following your rules long ago. Navigator Tejo provided the final piece of the puzzle. We've been mapping your entire civilization for decades. Every star system, every trade route, every military installation. We know the galaxy better than you do, because we've been studying it as outsiders. The revelation was devastating. Not only had the Council created their own enemy, but they had given that enemy 70 years to prepare for this moment. What do you want from us? Hyeltaran asked quietly. What we've always wanted, Hyunwoo replied. Freedom. The right to travel the galaxy as equals. The end of your quarantine. And if we refuse, Vormason asked. Then you'll discover what 70 years of focused human innovation has really produced, Hyunwoo said. The Defiant Dawn is our oldest design. Our newer ships are much more impressive. The threat was clear, but it was also a lie. The Defiant Dawn was actually their newest and most advanced vessel. But the Council didn't know that, and Captain Hyunwoo saw no reason to tell them. Communications Officer Min Ho delivered the final ultimatum. You have created a choice for yourselves. You can accept humanity as an equal partner in galactic civilization, or you can try to maintain your quarantine against a species that has advanced beyond your ability to contain. How do we know you won't attack us once you're free? Kael'thon asked. Because, Hyunwoo replied, we don't want to rule the galaxy. We just want to be part of it. Your own records show that humans integrate well with other species when treated as equals. Haewon provided supporting evidence. Pre-quarantine studies of human behavior show high cooperation rates with alien species. The aggression you fear only appears when humans are threatened or restricted. You restricted us for 70 years, Hyunwoo noted. And yet we're offering you peace instead of conquest. What does that tell you about human nature? The council members looked at each other uncertainly. Everything they thought they knew about humanity had been proven wrong. The primitive species they had locked away had become more advanced than their entire civilization. We need time to consider this, Vormason said finally. Of course, Hyunwoo agreed. But while you're considering, remember this. We didn't have to reveal the truth to you. We could have simply eliminated your fleets and taken what we wanted. Instead, we're offering you a choice. That should tell you something about who we really are. The transmission ended, leaving the council chamber in heavy silence. 12 leaders faced the hardest decision in their species' history. They could try to fight beings who had transcended their understanding of technology, or they could admit their mistakes and accept a new reality. On the Defiant Dawn, Captain Hyunwoo turned to his crew. Now we wait. Fear and pride are fighting in their hearts. Let's see which one wins, So Min reported from her station. Captain, their fleets are pulling back to minimum safe distance. They're not retreating, but they're not advancing either. Good, Hyunwoo said. They're thinking instead of reacting. That gives us hope for a peaceful solution. But in the back of his mind, he prepared for the possibility that pride might win over wisdom. If the council chose to fight, humanity was ready to finish what they had started 70 years ago. The galaxy was about to change forever. The only question was whether that change would come through negotiation or demonstration of the true extent of human capabilities. The council chamber remained silent for 3 long hours. 12 leaders from 12 different species stared at the evidence floating in the air around them. 70 years of lies and deception documented in their own words. Finally, Council Chair Vormason stood up slowly. His massive frame cast shadows across the room as he looked at each of his fellow council members. We cannot continue to pretend this situation doesn't exist, he said heavily. The humans have proven their point. They could have destroyed our entire fleet, but they chose to demonstrate mercy instead. Mercy? Ambassador Kael'thon snapped. They eliminated 3 of our ships. They removed them to another dimension where the crews are still alive, Hyeltaran corrected. If they wanted to kill, those ships would have been vaporized instead of displaced. Thexquin was still studying his instruments. The energy signatures from those 17 hidden ships confirm their claims. We are facing technology that is centuries ahead of ours. How is that possible? Demanded Admiral Corex Val, who had been silent until now. 70 years ago, humans couldn't even build proper spacecraft. Because we gave them the one thing they needed most, Vormason said quietly. Time and motivation. We united them against us and then left them alone to develop solutions. On the Defiant Dawn, Captain Hyunwoo waited patiently while the council debated. Navigator Tejo was monitoring the positions of both the visible alien fleet and the hidden human support ships. Captain, The alien fleet is maintaining defensive positions, Taeho reported. No aggressive movements detected. And our backup? Hyunwoo asked. Still hidden and ready to act if needed, Taeho confirmed. Intelligence Officer Woo Jin was listening to Council communications. Captain, they're arguing among themselves. Some want to negotiate. Others want to call for more reinforcements. More reinforcements won't help them, Engineer Jin A observed. Their entire military could be here and it wouldn't change the balance of power. Captain Hyunwoo nodded. The demonstration worked. Now they have to decide if their pride is worth risking their civilization. In the council chamber, the debate continued. Some members wanted to fight, convinced that surrender would mean the end of their authority. Others recognized that they were facing a choice between adaptation or extinction. If we accept their demands, Kael'thon argued, we're admitting that our entire system of government has been wrong for 70 years. Our system has been wrong for 70 years, Yeltaran replied bluntly. The evidence is right there in front of us. We quarantined an entire species because we were afraid they might surpass us. And they did surpass us, added Thexquin. By every measurable standard, human technology now exceeds ours. Vor Mason made the decision that would change galactic history forever. Open a communication channel to Captain Hyunwoo. The channel activated and Captain Hyunwoo's calm voice filled the chamber once more. Council Chair Vor Mason, have you reached a decision? We have questions first, Vor Mason replied. If we agree to end the quarantine, what guarantee do we have that humanity won't seek revenge for 70 years of imprisonment? You have the same guarantee you had before, Hyunwoo answered. None at all. But consider this. If we wanted revenge, would we be talking to you right now? Or would your fleets already be gone? The logic was undeniable. Humans had demonstrated the power to eliminate the Council's military forces, but they were choosing diplomacy instead. What are your specific demands? Vor Mason asked. Simple, Hyunwoo replied. Recognition of humanity as a sovereign galactic power. Freedom to travel, trade, and establish colonies anywhere we choose. And an end to the propaganda campaign that portrays humans as primitive or dangerous. That's all? Ambassador Yeltaran asked, surprised. That's all, Hyunwoo confirmed. We don't want to rule the galaxy. We don't want to destroy the Council. We just want to be free to make our own choices. Kael'thon wasn't satisfied. What about reparations? What about punishment for the Council members who supported the quarantine? What about them? Hyunwoo asked. You were afraid of us, so you locked us up. That fear led to this moment, which has made humanity stronger than we ever would have been without the quarantine. In a strange way, you did us a favor. The unexpected response caught the Council off guard. They had expected anger, demands for payment, or threats of retribution. Instead, the humans seemed almost grateful for their imprisonment. You're not angry? Vor Mason asked. Oh, we were furious for the first 20 years, Communications Officer Minho interjected. But anger is exhausting to maintain. Eventually, we channeled it into determination instead. Cultural analyst Haewon added her perspective. Your quarantine taught us that we couldn't depend on galactic civilization to accept us. So we built our own. A better one? What do you mean? Thexquin asked. We've spent 70 years creating a society where innovation is rewarded instead of feared, Hyunwoo explained. Where different ideas are celebrated instead of suppressed. Where progress is the goal instead of stability. And now you want to share that with the galaxy? Yeltaran asked hopefully. If the galaxy wants to learn from us, we're happy to teach, Hyunwoo replied. But we won't force our ways on anyone. Unlike some civilizations, we believe in choice. The insult was gentle but clear. The Council had tried to force their will on humanity and failed. Now humans were offering cooperation instead of conquest. Admiral Corex Val spoke up. What about our military fleets? Will you allow us to maintain our defenses? Your fleets aren't a threat to us, Hyunwoo said matter-of-factly. Keep them if they make you feel safer. But understand that the age of Council military supremacy is over. Science Officer Da-un provided a demonstration of that supremacy's end. Our scanners show your fleet compositions, weapon capabilities, and tactical formations. We've been studying your military for decades. We know how to counter every strategy and weapon system you possess. While you know nothing about ours, Engineer GNA added. That imbalance will continue until you abandon the idea of containing or controlling humanity. The Council members exchanged glances. Every word the humans spoke reinforced the same message. Resistance was pointless, but cooperation was possible, If we agree to your terms, Mason said slowly. How do we know you'll honor the agreement? The same way we knew you'd honor the quarantine, Hyunwoo replied. Trust backed by consequences for betrayal. What consequences? Kael'thon asked nervously. The same ones you face right now if you refuse our terms, Hyunwoo said simply. The threat didn't need to be spelled out. Everyone understood that humanity now held the ultimate deterrent against aggression. Mason looked around the chamber at his fellow council members. Some nodded reluctantly. Others remained defiant. But the majority recognized reality. The Galactic Council accepts your terms, he announced formally. The quarantine of humanity is hereby ended. Human space is recognized as sovereign territory. Humans are free to travel and establish colonies throughout the galaxy. Excellent, Captain Hyunwoo replied. We're transmitting the coordinates of our diplomatic stations. Any species wishing peaceful contact with humanity is welcome to visit. What about trade? Yeltaran asked. Will humans share their advanced technology? We'll share what we choose to share with those who treat us as equals, Hyunwoo answered. Just like any other sovereign power. Communications Officer Minho delivered the final surprise. By the way, those 17 ships we mentioned, they're not all warships. Most of them are colony vessels, explorer ships, and mobile research stations. We came prepared to begin galactic expansion immediately after this meeting. The revelation showed just how confident humanity had been in the outcome. They hadn't come to negotiate from weakness. They had come to dictate terms from strength. One more thing, Captain Hyunwoo added. The 3 ships we removed during our demonstration will be returned to normal space once their crews have been properly briefed about the new galactic situation. Consider it a gesture of good faith. In the council chamber, relief mixed with apprehension. The crisis was over, but everything had changed. The galaxy now had a new major power, one that had surpassed all existing civilizations in 70 short years. As the alien fleets began withdrawing from Nexus Prime, 17 human vessels appeared throughout the system. They had been there all along, invisible and ready to act. Colony ships headed for distant star systems. Explorer vessels began mapping new trade routes. Research stations prepared to establish contact with alien species. Captain Hyunwoo stood at the window of the Defiant Dawn, watching the alien fleet scatter to carry news of humanity's emergence across the galaxy. His tactical officer So-min joined him. Do you think they'll keep their word? She asked. They'll try, Hyunwoo replied. Fear is a powerful motivator for honesty. And if they don't? Then they'll discover that the Defiant Dawn was just the beginning, he said calmly. Humanity has been preparing for this day for 70 years. We're ready for whatever comes next. Navigator Taeho called out from his station. Captain, we're receiving welcome messages from 47 different species. They want to establish diplomatic and trade relations. It seems the galaxy was waiting for someone to break the Council's monopoly on power, Woo Jin observed. Captain Hyunwoo smiled. The quarantine was over. Captain Lee Hyun stood on the bridge of the human ship Dauntless. The stars looked different here, far from Earth. His crew had been exploring this part of space for 3 months. They were looking for new worlds, new life, anything that might help humanity grow stronger in the galaxy. Captain, said his science officer, we're getting strange readings from the 4th planet in this system. Hyun walked over to look at the data. The planet was green and blue, like Earth, but something was wrong. The sun in this system was acting strange. It was getting bigger and hotter than it should be. Take us closer, Hyun ordered, but keep our distance. I want to know what's happening down there. Dr. Parksol was busy in her lab when the call came. She was the ship's expert on alien life. She had studied dozens of different species since humans joined the galaxy 20 years ago. Most aliens thought humans were too young and stupid to matter much. Sol, get up here, Hyun's voice came through the speaker. You need to see this. She ran to the bridge. On the main screen, she could see the planet below. It was beautiful, covered in forests and oceans, but there were cities too. Someone lived down there. Are they sending any messages? Sol asked. Yes, said the communication officer, but it's not like anything we've heard before. It's more like music. They listened to the sounds coming from the planet. It was soft and sad, like a song of worry. Sol felt something strange in her chest. The sound made her want to cry, but she didn't know why. Captain, I'm reading life signs all over the planet, reported the scanner operator, but the population is small. Maybe 12 million beings, Hyun frowned. 12 million was nothing for a whole planet. Earth had billions of people. Something was very wrong here. Take us down, he decided. Find a safe place to land. We need to meet whoever lives there. The Dauntless landed in a field near one of the cities. The buildings were different from human ones. They were round and grew from the ground like giant flowers. Everything glowed with soft light even in the daytime. A group of beings came to meet them. Saul gasped when she saw them. They looked like large cats that walked on two legs. Their fur was silver and blue, and patches of their skin glowed with gentle light. Their eyes were huge and dark, full of sadness. The leader of the group stepped forward. When it spoke, the words came not from its mouth but seemed to appear in their minds. "Welcome, sky travelers," the voice said inside their heads. "I am called Keeper of the First Grove. We are the Valari. We have been waiting for someone to come." Hyun felt strange. The Valari's voice in his mind made him feel calm but also very sad. "I am Captain Lee Hyun of Earth. We come in peace." The Keeper's large eyes seemed to look right into Hyun's soul. "We know peace, sky traveler. We have always known peace. But peace will not save us now." Dr. Soul stepped forward. She pulled out her scanner and pointed it at the Valari. The readings were amazing. These beings had brain patterns unlike anything she had ever seen. "Your son," Soul said. "It's dying, isn't it?" The Keeper nodded slowly. "The bright ones from the sky came long ago. They made changes to our sun. They said it would make our world better. But then they left. Now our sun grows angry and hot. In 2 cycles of seasons it will burn us all." Hyun felt anger rise in his chest. "The bright ones? Do you mean the Celestials?" "Yes," the Keeper said. "The tall ones made of light. They said we were too simple to understand their gift, but their gift is killing us," and Sol was studying her scanner readings. The Valari's brain showed incredible activity in areas that controlled emotions and feelings. "Captain," she whispered, "these beings are empathic. They can feel what others feel." As if to prove her point, the Keeper suddenly looked at Sol with great kindness. "You are hurt inside, seeker of knowledge. Someone you loved is gone. The pain sits in your heart like a stone." Sol's eyes filled with tears. Her brother had died in an accident just before this mission. She had not told anyone how much it hurt. The Keeper stepped closer and gently touched Sol's hand. Warmth spread up her arm. The terrible sadness in her heart began to fade. For the first time in months, she could think about her brother without wanting to cry. But when she looked at the Keeper, she saw that the Valari was now shaking with grief. The creature had taken Sol's pain into itself. "You took my sadness away," Sol whispered. "But now you're feeling it instead. This is what we do," the Keeper said softly. "We take the pain of others. We make it smaller, easier to bear. But we cannot heal the pain of a dying world." Hyun looked around at the other Valari. They all had the same sadness in their huge eyes. They were a race of healers, but no one could heal them. "How long do you have?" Hyun asked. 2 years, maybe less," the Keeper replied. "When the sun grows too hot, all life on this world will end." Hyun made a decision that would change everything. "Then we'll get you off this world. All of you." The Keeper looked surprised. "You would do this?" "We have nothing to give you. We are not strong fighters. We have no great machines or treasures. You don't need to give us anything," Hyun said firmly. "Helping people is what humans do." That night, back on the Dauntless, Hyun sent a message to Earth and to the Galactic Council. He asked for ships, supplies, and permission to evacuate the Valari people to a new world. The answer came back 3 days later. Counselor Kang Min from Earth's government appeared on the communication screen. His face looked tired and worried. "Hyun, what you're asking is impossible," Kang said. 12 million refugees? Where would we put them? How would we feed them? And the other species in the galaxy don't care about the Valari. They've already been judged as non-essential. Non-essential. Hyun's voice was hard with anger. "They're people, Min, living beings with families and dreams." "I know that," Kang replied. "But humanity is still new to the galactic community. We can't make waves. If we spend our resources on a lost cause, we might lose our own seat on the council. So we just let them die? We can offer some aid," Kang said carefully. "Food, medicine, supplies, but a full evacuation? The cost would be enormous. And frankly, the other species would see it as humanity being foolishly emotional." After the call ended, Hyun sat alone on the bridge. Through the window, he could see the lights of the Valari city. Somewhere down there, 12 million gentle souls were waiting to die. Dr. Soul found him there hours later. "The Valari have an amazing gift," she said quietly. "They can heal minds and hearts. In all my years studying aliens, I've never seen anything like it. The galaxy is going to lose something precious when they die. Hyun stood up. His jaw was set with determination. Then the galaxy is wrong and someone needs to do what's right. What do you mean? Hyun looked at her with eyes full of fire. I mean, we're going to save them. All of them. With or without permission? Sol stared at him. Hyun, that's crazy. We're one ship. They're 12 million people. Then we'll get more ships, Hyun said. I know there are humans who will help. People who believe that doing right matters more than following orders. The next morning, Hyun sent new messages. Not to the government, but to friends, family, and fellow ship captains across human space. He told them about the Velari. He told them about the dying sun and the gentle people who healed others' pain. The responses started coming back within hours. Captain after captain, civilian ship owner after ship owner saying the same thing. When do we start? Lee Hyun smiled for the first time in days. Maybe humanity was young and foolish. Maybe they were making a mistake that would cost them their place in the galaxy. But 12 million lives were worth the risk.